Hi, I'm Izati, and I'll be presenting the solution for the CIMB problem statement, which is a resume screener. The problem statement is basically receiver usually receives a huge amount of resumes every day and doesn't need to hire right talent. So how do we use machine learning to screen and rank the top matching profile to expedite the screening process? The success criteria, the first is actually to be able to shortlist resume based on the skill set needed. Second is actually to rank shortlisted resume based on needs of hiring, which is years of experience, domain. So the approach is basically to have a front end and back end solution. The front end will be built using Power Apps as a user interface user experience. So the HR personnel would be able to actually input the job description and also to update the link to the resume repository on the Azure blob storage. And on the Power App itself, it would actually output the top matching applicants. On the back end, we're going to use Azure Blob Storage to actually store the JD and also the resumes. We're going to use Azure AI Form Recognizer Python SDK, Azure Language Cognitive Key Phases Extraction and Entity, Machine Learning Studio to design pipelines for development and deployment to production. So this is a simulation of the app itself. So there's 4 buttons: pending action, if there's any warning between, for example, there's a job description but there's no resume linked to it. Job description is basically where the HR would actually update the job description. Link to resume is to update the link, the repository link to the resume. Top match would actually output the top 10 matching applicants. So the machine learning approach for this solution is basically using Azure Machine Learning Studio and also the other applied solutions that I mentioned. So the job description and resume could be coming in as PDF, and then would actually use the form recognizer to convert from PDF to Excel. I would actually use an OCR. And then cleaning would be done, tokenizing, and then preparation of the data. Feature extraction using n-grams and also TF-DIF. Feature mapping is basically to actually match between the keywords of the resume and the keywords of the job description, with the job description keywords as a reference. And then we're going to use the classifier. There's 2 here. Of ranking, it would actually, the output of the match would actually give a ranking of the 10 closest match, and then would give an output of the top 10 suggested applicant. So I'll just jump straight to the demo. The code itself is here. This is on my PC. So basically, I would run here. It would actually read the PDF, and then from the PDF itself, it will use the form recognizer client using the endpoint and also the API key. And then, it will save as a PDF, it will save as a CSV file using a data frame. And then I would use I did this code to actually do the cleaning process and also to lematize. So this would actually read the CSV file which was generated earlier and then do some data cleaning on that. So stem would, and then from the CSV file, I would actually load that into the Machine Learning Studio and then do the next step. This is the pipeline that actually worked. So the dataset was input and then did some pre-processing and then did some extract n-gram features from the text. And then I got a result here. But then when I tried to do the next step, which is the putting on the training data, I got some errors. So I just tried to troubleshoot that, but it didn't work. And then I just moved on. Pipeline production. And then if it's to do the modeling, is this one. The form recognizer studio to actually paste or upload the PDF, and then it would give me an output like this. But then I use the SDK and then put it inside my code to run it. And then I use the language studio to actually paste the CSV which got from the PDF, and then to get the key phrases here. That was split correctly when it read from PDF to CSV. So we need to do more data cleaning on that. And then there was a training area. I would need more, coaching on that, on how to solve that error. And then it would actually be better if the job description template in PDF is standardized, because different template would actually give different bounding boxes. Forward for this solution, right? In terms of pricing, cognitive services is charged based on the amount of processing being done. So if the resumes are less than 500 pages, you can actually opt for the free tier. But if it's more than that, you can opt for the paid pay as you go tier. So if it's like 1,000 pages, it's around 50 USD. There's actually a calculator for that. So in terms of security, API credentials needs to be stored securely. It should not be part of the code. It should be stored in a different file. Not everybody can actually create pipelines. Only like specific people, like for example, data scientists, machine learning engineers, those people who are authorized to actually see the data and run pipelines. In terms of scalability, because when there's a lot more resume that needs to be screened, and also there's a lot more requirement or jobs that needs to be fulfilled, compute clusters and nodes needs to be expanded to so that processing power can actually cope with the amount of load needed. So Docker and Kubernetes deployment is also needed because, as I mentioned, this is actually tied or paired with the Power Apps. So that needs to be expanded if the processing power is not enough. Azure storage, this is crucial because as resumes grows, and then if the resume is being kept, it's not being truncated, we need to ensure that the storage is sufficient. Yeah. Yeah, I guess that's it then. Thank you.